It's lights out and away we go, and the Ferrari's getting away well, but I think Verstappen got away better, and he's trying to slice through the middle of the two red machines, and they're going wheel to wheel, Verstappen and Leclerc.
Hello Formula One fans, welcome to Formula Pun Racer, the channel where car racing and comedy collide. This video, we speak of the recently raced Mexican Grand Prix, held on October 29th. With that said, on that same day, it was happy belated birthday to Lance Stroll of Canada, driving for Aston Martin. Happy belated birthday, Lance. I hope you had a great birthday. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, his race was anything but happy. Well, let's start with when it was lights out. You'd think with Max Verstappen's Red Bull dominant by the Flying Dutchman, he would be on pole. Actually, no, he wasn't. The front row is in fact locked out by the two Ferraris of Charles Leclerc of Monaco and Carlos Sainz Jr. of Spain. Max started third. But when it was lights out and away they went, well, not only did the Ferraris get away well, Max Verstappen had a slightly quicker reaction time to worm his way up to the lead. Unfortunately, going in the first corner of the first lap, it was wheel to wheel between Leclerc and Verstappen, and local boy Sergio Perez, Max's teammate of Mexico, who was trying to stick his nose in the fight, unfortunately was in the wrong place at the wrong time, because shown here, Max was veering a little to the left like this, forcing Leclerc to react, and Leclerc, with no place to go, forced Perez into a flight he just doesn't want to have. Ow! Sergio was okay, but unfortunately his Red Bull was not. He would limp back to the pits with damage to his underside, suspension, and his engine. Game over for the poor Mexican, who I'm sure more than half the crowds came to this race to see. And I'm sure with some people having booed Max Verstappen for being so dominant this year so far, I'm sure they can probably point blame at Sergio's own teammate for this.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
I wouldn't blame many Mexican fans for wanting to file out of the race when their fan favorite was out on the first lap. To make matters worse, considering how this sport is supposed to be a family-friendly affair, one Red Bull fan got into a fight with two Ferrari fans in the crowds after Perez was bumped out, and the Red Bull fan got kicked out of the track and banned permanently from any F1 races. How embarrassing, considering this wasn't even Leclerc's fault. It was clearly Max Verstappen that forced Leclerc to go left. Leclerc, with nowhere to go, was forced into Sergio Perez. So, oh boy, that has to be embarrassing. In any case, after this had settled down, Max Verstappen would lead the race onwards, but however, lap 33 would be quite a big shuffle, and the Danish butter cookies charge in the HAAS, Kevin Magnussen that is, would be crumbling to pieces when he lost control of his car on lap 33 and slammed real hard into the tire barrier. The Danish butter cookie was unhurt, but his HAAS was a HAAS bin. The race was stopped so the track marshals could clear up the debris. The race restarted on lap 36 in a standing start manner, and Max Verstappen simply continued to hold on to the lead with the two Ferraris right behind. On lap 40, Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes was able to worm his way up from where it was in a drag race on the front stretch with Charles Leclerc to take second place, a place the Mercedes driver would not relinquish. Unfortunately, on lap 47, it would be a day that would be a bust for Fernando Alonso and his Aston Martin. He decided to retire the car because the underside of his car picked up some debris in the scuffle between Leclerc and Sergio Perez at the start of the race, as well as the fact that Leclerc's Ferrari suffered a bit of front wing damage but was still in third at this point. Tough day for the Aston Martin team, and more so a double whammy for birthday boy Lance Stroll, who on lap 66 was also out of the race when he was pitted around by Valtteri Bottas, causing some suspension damage. Game over for the young birthday boy. Definitely a present he did not want either, eh? Pretty disappointing for us Aston Martin fans that it was a double whammy, a double retirement for the team. And embarrassing still is that a few races earlier they've already slipped back to 5th in the Constructors' title behind McLaren, and now they're 20 points behind McLaren. And to make matters worse for Aston Martin, the resurgence of McLaren is quite phenomenal because Lando Norris's McLaren started in 17th and he would finish in 5th in this race, What an improvement for Lando.
Hello, what have we here?
Who knows if McLaren might get its mojo back for 2024? Or could Aston Martin just wait out the last 3 races of this season, hope for the best, and improve upon that in 2024? Lance Stroll, the team owner, I'm sure is definitely not happy about this, but he ought to be a little happier than he was last year because in 2022, Aston Martin finished 7th in the Constructors' title, but they seem to be securely in 5th, and I don't think it could get any worse than that. Well, let's see what happens in the next round. And I'm sorry once again, Lance, that your birthday was a wash. And anyone who agrees that Lance ought to be dumped and replaced by Felipe Drugovich of Brazil, I'm on board with the idea. Obrigado. With that said, 1 lap before the finish, it was another double whammy for North American drivers in the race as the U.S. driver, Logan Sargent of Williams, his fuel pump gave out on the last lap, so he didn't make it to the finish. But when all was said and done, once again, Red Bull's Max Verstappen took his 16th victory of the season. No doubt increasing his championship lead, even though he's already won the championship all the more. Lewis Hamilton would finish 2nd, and Charles Leclerc Ferrari gets his first Mexican Grand Prix podium. Congratulations to that, Leclerc and Hamilton, and naturally, I had my money on Verstappen, and it seemed like an easy win.
Well, I do have one small criticism. The ending, it was a little, predictable!
And speaking of Felipe Drugovich from Brazil, if you like that salsa of a race, get ready for the samba, because this Sunday, November 5th, is when Formula 1 goes to Drugovich's home soil of Brazil, also the same country that gives us Emerson Fittipaldi, Tony Kanaan, Gilles de Ferran, Ayrton Senna, and Felipe Massa and Rubens Barrichello, among others. The land of order and progress is excited to see this race go down at the Interlagos circuit. Can Max Verstappen continue his dominant performance in Brazil like last year? Or will the Red Bull streak be snapped once and for all like Singapore? Tune in to find out. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked this video where I had a lot to talk about for Mexico, please share, like, and subscribe to Formula Pun Racer, and I like reading all your comments too. And see where the order and progress of Formula 1 goes in Brazil. See you in the next video, everyone. I'm Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders, and once again, gefeliciteerd Max Verstappen on a dominant Dutch performance.